all day. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, they were trash. And they banned, like, parks and everything closed. Don't think that sucks. Like, my sister has online classes, but they're closing the library, like, her school, because somebody got coronavirus. So, yeah, it's... And my biggest thing is just, if you have to go to a grocery store to be there and get something, like, get in and get out. Trust me, the stores are keeping quotas of how many people they let in at a time. Like, some places are 25 people. If it's a smaller store, like 25 people. Other stores, like 50. They're really trying to keep the number down. You can even notice in how some of the lines are. Like, I went to Smart Find Extra today, and they had, like, the line, it was like a totally different spot for all the registers. And there was like a 6-foot gap between me and the next person waiting in line. And thankfully, they're restocking everything, and toilet paper's coming back. Which, by the way, fuck all y'all who decide to take out toilet paper. I hope you flood your toilet and you get constipated, and then you're just stuck with toilet paper you can't use. Y'all suck and are stupid. By the way, all the soap is still there in the store, but all the toilet paper is gone, but nobody took the soap. Y'all nasty. Another thing. If you're going to go shopping, just, like, get some essentials, canned goods. Don't necessarily rely on produce because this thing may go another 2 months. And, yeah, treat people who work in, like, grocery stores and all those other places with respect because, again, there's kind of a golden rule in life. It's like one of the unsung commandments. There's, like, 15 commandments. This is probably the 14th. Don't fuck with people who make your food. That's kind of like just a thing you don't do. Like, you don't piss off people who are handling your food. That's a very bad idea. So, if you're gonna go to these grocery stores, have respect for the people working there. Because trust me, they want to be home too. But sometimes they're not getting hazard pay. Shit's bad. And they're there, hours are getting cut. They're not getting their hours back. Yeah, they're getting paid to be there, kind of, but it's also a shitty experience in some regards. So, like, have that presence of mind when you go into a store and don't, like, panic and freak the hell out and yell at people who are working there saying, why don't you guys have this? Because there's a pandemic and people panic buy, so we ain't got the shit. Just focus on that and realize it's not about you. And the world doesn't revolve around your ass. And, be nice to people. Don't be a dick right now. It's really not the time. Everybody who's licking toilets, getting coronavirus, when you die, just know I'm going to laugh a little bit because you're stupid and you deserve it. Like, all y'all out there clout chasing, licking poles and shit. If the coronavirus gets you, just know I'm going to be happy because that's Darwinism and you're gross. And you make me sick. And honestly, you not being here probably makes the world a better place because you're fucking nasty and you're trying to kill everybody with your nastiness. And karma's a bitch. I love y'all. Stay safe. Pete, stay safe. Yeah.
All right, man.
I'm out.
All right, man. Have a good night. Thank you so much.
Peace. I'm going to go back to eating honeycombs.
Peace. You better tune in for this one because it's going to be a good one.
Fine, I'll stay on the line.
So, with that, I want to close out the show by doing a couple things. First of all, man, shout out to everybody who voted on the polls this week. TDs_tangents on IG. Going to start doing more of that stuff. But, so 50% of our audience pretty much said they were split between whether or not the new Rams logos was fire or doo-doo. Those emojis. But yeah, in addition to that, 95% of them said they think Cam Newton will bounce back. And also 75% of them said, no, Kenny, quarantine. No, I'm sorry. 75% of them are on your side and say, yes, Kenny, it's okay for you to let your hair grow out right now. With the coronavirus, I know I'm not one to talk because not only is my hair on full burst mode, but I'm also doing quarantine no shave November, and my unibrow right now is popping. I kind of look like Frida. So, yeah. There we go. Shout out to AD, man. The brow. Speaking of basketball, a piece of LA history was made this week, and it needs to be acknowledged. Steve Ballmer, otherwise known as Balls by the Lakers front office. That's the nickname they gave him in an email exchange when rumors broke that he was going to try and pursue this new arena. And guess what? Ballmer is doing his manifestation destiny, getting that arena, buying the Forum, throwing money at housing advocates. Because why? The $50 billion man is stopping at nothing to make sure the Clippers are cemented in the future of Los Angeles by building a new arena in what will be the new center of Los Angeles, aka Inglewood. Yes, I said it. We all know it. With the new stadium going there, with all the development and the gentrification going on there, the city is going to once again be centered around Inglewood, and the Clippers have not one, but two pieces of massive real estate to make sure that they have finally put together a great home for not only a winning basketball organization, which do I need to remind you, the Lakers have only beat the Clippers a handful of times in the past decade. Do I need to remind you that the Clippers only missed the playoffs 2 times last decade? Do I need to remind you that? Do I need to remind you that the Clippers have the finals MVP, reigning Kawhi Leonard, on top of Paul George, another local superstar? So yes, Ballmer is building a home for a winning organization and giving Clippers fans like me, like my boy Max, he's legitimizing us, because for so long we've been a laughingstock. For so long people have said we play at the Lakers building, even though it's really the Kings building, even though the Lakers are second fiddle to the Kings, but people don't like to talk about that. Point is, everybody else, the Lakers and Kings are going to be fighting over days in 2024. The Lakers are going to be chilling in the South Bay, in their new arena, playing in prime time, doing what they need to do. And here's the reality. He's going to be doing that while also owning a relic of Lakers history, while owning the Forum, the place that 6 rings were won. The home of Showtime is now owned by the owner of the Clippers. This is so weird to even think about. It's something that you never would have imagined a decade ago. But guess what? It's happening. Not only does Ballmer own a relic of Laker history, but he's finally creating one of Clipper history. And I am ecstatic, and it needs to be acknowledged. I know I was skeptical of them when they made the move for Blake Griffin, but since everything they've done is perfect, all the moves they made at the front office, all the moves they made in free agency at the trade deadline, and now this is just the latest example of Steve Ballmer's greatness and a reason why the Clippers will continue ascending and hopefully win that final first banner, because, Steve Ballmer's going to make it happen. He's got $50 billion on it, and he's going to make it happen. Whether it happens this year, next year, 5 years, the Clippers are going to be a winner, because that's what Steve Ballmer does. That's what he's always done. He wasn't afraid of iPads when he launched Surface. He wasn't afraid of PS2 when he launched Xbox. He wasn't afraid of taking on IBM or Apple with the PC. And now he's not afraid to turn those lovable losers, the counterculture that is the Clippers, into a legit NBA title contender and a piece of the Los Angeles community. Finally, Clippers are going to have a home. And to all you Laker fans out there hating, saying it doesn't matter, keep hating, because the reality of the situation is there's 4 million people in Los Angeles, and there's another 4 million people. And I think there's 20 million people in greater SoCal and another 4 million people in the IE. Steve Ballmer doesn't need to make Laker fans into Clipper fans for the Clippers to be a thing in LA. He doesn't need to do that. He's got his eyes on those 4 million people in the Inland Empire who are going to watch those Agua Caliente Clippers of Ontario. He's after those transplants, the gentrifiers, damn, I say it, those people that are going to go to the NFL games at the new stadium, the casual basketball fans, the new basketball fans, the transplants who are going to look and see that state-of-the-art Clipper arena that's not going to have purple seats, that's not going to have statues in front of the Lakers. And they're going to say, damn, what are the Clippers are about? Maybe I should check them out. On top of giving a home to me, to all these people that the Clippers have been giving tickets and gear away for years, like, he's finally building a place for all of that to convene. Ballmer has his eyes on the future, on building a long-term fan base. And I'm so happy to see it because I see what this guy's doing. He's going after the 5-year-old that just watched Kawhi win a ring, and that's his favorite player. He's going after the dude who played on a high school team or a rec team on a Clipper refurbished rec center or youth center. He's going after the dudes who watched Blake and Chris Paul dominate for a decade. Like, he doesn't need to convert Lakers fans. There's already plenty of groundwork that's been done with the Clippers organization, and now Steve Ballmer's bringing that all together by giving them a home. So shout out to the Clippers. Shout out to Steve Ballmer for making this happen. Yes, obviously I'm a Clipper fan and stan, but so fucking what? Because guess what? There's about to be a lot more of us. So finally, after I got all that off my chest, I just want to shout out everybody out there. Like Kenny said, man, take precautions, be safe. Shout out to everybody staying at home who's actually doing their thing. I know it's kind of a scary time right now, and I know everybody's kind of looking for something to happen. I know the stimulus package is coming and the bailout is coming, and like, obviously I know people are struggling. Some people aren't essential employees. Some people aren't like me who can work remotely. So some people are really hurting. Like, shout out to our boy Sean, who just got laid off. His publication ceased existence. There's a lot of, weekly papers and free papers that are struggling because they rely on event business. There's a lot of, part-time retail workers who aren't working. And for those people, it does make sense to give them some cash, but this whole idea that we're just going to bail out all these corporations and give them all this money, and I don't want to get too libertarian or too political on you, but just the very idea that we're going to do this when we don't even have a plan of when this is going to end or when this is going to stop. We don't know if it's going to be in a month or 18 months. So how can we just give the market this much money if we don't know how the consumer is going to react? It's like, rather than allow this coronavirus to be a natural resetter, to let it, purge the old legacy way, the standard, the centralized, the box retailers, like the banks, like all these old legacy companies that are struggling the most because they're the least flexible. Instead of letting them fall to the bottom and letting all these startups and all these technology companies and all these things that allow you to work remote and do what you do remote and stay connected with each other, regardless of if you're physically next to each other and the anti-brick and mortar and the direct-to-consumer, rather than let all of that take over, we're still living in the past and we're still trying to preserve those old companies and that old American dream, instead of the reality is, like, this is going to change the fabric of our society. Like, at the very least, like, this is going to make people more comfortable living in isolation. This is going to make people more comfortable getting their food delivered. It's going to make people more comfortable having Zoom calls and Zoom conferences and not going to meetings. And it's going to make people feel even more connected when they're not connected physically. So we have to accept that, and we have to let it run its course, because if we run too much interference and throw too much money at it trying to fix the problem without a real plan or solution, then, well, that's when we're really headed to the Armageddon and the anarchy that everybody